Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Fire Emblem Path of Radiance Footlock playthrough. In this part, we're going to be taking care of the base for Chapter 16, the Atonement. I also forgot to call out the chapter for Chapter 15's name, which was the Feral Frontier. Interesting title, I might add, calling it the Feral Frontier. Meanwhile, beauty is a mad mistress, that's for sure. So, Serena's royalty. When this... Ooh, interesting. And we get to see Oliver being the madman that he truly is. Naysala sold him out. Indeed. A life of luxury, eh? Meanwhile, mustn't harm a single feather on him. He's definitely gone mad, that's for sure. And charitable master. This is madness, indeed. How delicious. Anywho, separated for a short while. Meanwhile... Herons, you see, are such delicate things. When it will be. I think he's really got into his head now that he has a Serena's royal. Curse your eyes. How dare you do this to me. Ooh boy, he's ready to definitely get to Barn to tear out Naysala into a new person. Meanwhile, back in the cathedral itself, I've brought him. Where's your usual entourage? There's only 2 of the Holy Guard, which is unusual. I think they're cleaning away the rabble. On to business. The ringleader of thieves. Why is he nothing but a child, eh? We're here to freeze the Lagoos from the aristocrats held in captivity. And in the year of Benyon 624, Apostle Misaha, I forget if it's supposed to be Misaha or Misha, but I'm going to say Misaha for the moment. Her honored grandmother emancipated every last Lagoo slave. There's not a single slave to be found in the Benyon Empire. Oh, even Tormod knows. The Senate, those vast windbags, grant tacit approval by doing nothing. That's enough. I told you to keep a cool head. Whenever you bring such an old-mannered rogue to meet me, what is it you're planning? If anyone's planning something, it's you. Definitely. What could you mean by that? Your last mission showed us the slave trade. Now you put us in contact with an underground emancipation group. From the very beginning, I found this whole arrangement a little odd. You have more vassals than you can use, yet you hire us for these missions. Your motivations have me puzzled. And has Ike solved the puzzle? And, yes, exposed the depravity of the inner circles. Interesting. Ah. Very unique proposition. And thus she thought he was quite a bit dumber than he actually was. When I have companions whom I trust with my life, they helped. Which is a very good way to put it. The Apostle is aware of the Lagoo safety. On top of that, she intends to do something about this problem, which is actually probably the best news Tormod's ever heard. So, very good way to put it. Depends on what we do next. Let's see. Bishop Oliver, Duke of Tanis, is up to something suspicious. Near the woods of the Serenas, go there and return with irrevocable proof of whatever he's doing. If you succeed in this, I promise to support you, your Princess Lincia, with all the power at her command, which is the entire Benyon army, which is amazing. Just be ready for whatever information he's hiding. Now for results. Ileana, not surprised. Didn't earn as much money as I thought we were, but it's still a nice chunk of change. Spent a lot on that wind tome I got for Tormod. Ileana in the last part. In the meantime, speaking of Tormod, here we go. We have Tormod himself. Tormod! I'm going to point this out first. He has Celerity, which increases his movement by 2 spaces. Absolutely amazing. He's also the character I'm going to give the other Master Seal to. His stats aren't great at base, but they are good enough that I could probably get away with a level 15 or so promotion, as he has way more than enough movement at base. In the meantime, with that said, I am going to probably try to jump his level up a little bit. The other character we got, Muarum. Now, I'll explain what this does here in a moment, but first, his stats are great. Despite joining on pretty late, he's very good as a character, having reasonably high base stats, and he actually snowballs pretty well, as he has very high growth rates, like almost all the Lagoos do. If you want somebody to fill in, or you're looking for prime Lagoos to use, highly recommend Muarum. He'll serve you well from here to the end of the game. Just be aware of the same fallouts that most Lagoos have. Stuck with their claws and can't forge any weapons. But other than that, they're amazing. Now, the Demi-Band. All abilities are slightly lower while using this. All abilities, that's kind of true, but it's also a little bit misleading. All abilities are lowered by half, rounded down, so according to whatever the transformation boost would be. But you get to permanently stay in Lagoo's form. So, for the time being, I'm going to move that over to Leth, and she's going to now be the one holding the Demi-Band. While you're fighting human enemies, the Demi-Band is perfectly fine on everybody. Other than that, not a lot to say. Convoy, give, Physic, and I'm going to actually just use the shop to sell these items. Specifically, the Statue Frag on Volk, and I want to sell, wherever it is, the White Gem. It is a free 10,000 pieces of gold. It is way more than enough money to help you get moving through the rest of the game. And even then, you'll probably be happy to have it anyways. In the meantime, put everything in there for the time being. Stefan, I'm gonna let you keep the Vague Coddy for the moment. I will grab it via the list command later. In the meantime, Tormod, I want you to take... There's a lot of different options for you. I think for this chapter, what I'm going to do... not Forge. I'll get all your weapons here in a moment. Why don't I do that real quick? Grab the Elfire out of the convoy, and I'm going to take the Breeze off of Ileana. Well, Ileana, I will let you have the Thundertone back in the convoy. Oh, Thunder, excuse me. In the meantime, let's see, look at the support conversations. See, Hark and Ileana finally have support. Yay. Just a bit of snacks. And it smells delicious, considering that Ileana's the ravenous eater of the group. But, see, Hark is off. And she's really nearly ready to collapse from hunger pains. That's interesting. She needs food, indeed. Ileana's a little weird, but I find her quite charming. Not gonna lie. Info. Stefan. This is interesting. It's 3-star. Huh. Not a member of the troop normally. And apologies for not introducing. In part, it's because I'm curious, but mostly it's guiding hand of fate that led me to you. Quite the pessimist, I must say. Unique fighting style, but it's incomplete and filled with hesitation. And yeah, reading Ike like a book, which he can be of service. Would you like to know? And who are you? You can learn the Dance of Blades from me without knowing my history, can you not? What say you? Let your heart decide. Let's study, after all, it gives us a free item. And help me in my technique. Gladly accept an invitation. Then prepare yourself, come at me, attack me with all your strength. And you get an occult scroll out of the deal, as long as you accept to study. Muarum. This may as well be Moarm and Tormod. Were you treated roughly? Did they punish you? Nothing of the sort. She's just a kid. Really, she's even shorter than he is. And watch her tongue. That's true. And yeah, that is also true. Speaking ill of the apostle here is considered treasonous. Keep it up and they'll kill you, or threaten to. Yep. Tormod definitely doesn't understand the full gravity of the situation. And that's because Tormod, or rather Moarm, was once a Lagoo slave. So that explains a lot. And, yes, as a child, raised to never question my station as a slave. From lots of grueling physical labor and knowing nothing else. Interesting. Drilled to be polite in society too. That's yeah, definitely some abuse of power still going on. There are even things as Lagoose hunts in other nations. As a former slave myself is present, all you will be judged, scorned, and looked down upon. Would you take care of the little one, Tormod? Are you not allowed to be freed? That's, wow, that's harsh. We build homes and plant fields. Families would live together in peace and freedom. That's the world that they dreamed of. Huh. Interesting. Meanwhile, Tormod's having a hard time with that. And Ike is speaking very honestly, which is very nice. If you're born into a noble house, you're noble. If your parents are slaves, you're a slave. Moment of birth? I don't think that's where your worth is decided, personally. But that's also true. Valencia is a princess, but we've treated her with more respect than any other employer we've had, but, funny. We've addressed her as princess the entire time, but I've never really considered what that meant. He was very simple, that is for sure. You're born in Bjork and raised in a country with a lenient social structure. That's an enviable life indeed. I never truly understand your pain, and no differently after learning of her heritage. And it's no different just because Moarm was once a slave. That's a very apt way to put it, Ike. And his choice has been part of his freedom. And Moarm's going to go find him. But he's good at figuring out where Tormod is without being spotted. May your friendship be true and enduring. I share a sentiment. Our troop will have you for as long as you wish. Which is very heartfelt. Now to ruin that heartfelt moment by giving a bonus experience to people. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, nicely done, Eliana. Alright, nice job, Zahark. Okay, that's a reasonable level up for Tormod. Okay, that's reasonable for Tormod. Tormod's also a little unusual in that he has a lot of defense for a mage, which is actually kind of useful in its own ways. In the meantime, let's put the occult scroll back into the convoy, so I don't need it at the moment. Guard's an unusual skill which it'll stop the opponent if it triggers on any of the attacks. It's also based on skill. I already have Nephany skilled up. Brom, I know what skill I'm going to put on you, but I don't think... Actually, let me see. Manage skills, Braum. Where are you? Where? Yeah, can't assign the skill that I want to put on you yet. Darn. Oh well. In the meantime, I'm gonna try to basically keep it to whoever needs it. Tormod has celerity. That's all that I really care about on Tormod. As it makes him move farther. I think I went over that already, but while I'm here, I've already rewarded out all the bonus experience I plan on handing out for the time being. I guess it's more important that I figure out what band I'm going to keep, which I think I'll do that, and I think because I'm not really thinking Reese is going to be too fast, I'm going to give him the soldier band just because I think that'll be the best idea and use of resources at the moment. It's going to be so awkward whenever I finally have to give Ike back a band. Wyvern band, Thief band on Boyd, even though he's nowhere near close to a level up. Night band, and yeah. I guess the other thing to do to grab from the convoy would be like... not the boots, I'm saving that for somebody. The Master Seal, just in case I get up to that level in this chapter. And one of the 3 vulneraries for sure. I also just remembered one of the other things I should do. Elf Thunder, and then I'm going to take the Heal Staff. Restored, I don't think does anything in this stage, but Heal is definitely one of those weapons I do want to have, or the Staff, yeah, Staff. Words, jumbled. Take, do I have any more Thunder magic? I also have the Elf Thunder still, yeah. Ileana is basically going to be using Thunder Tomes from here to the end of the game, so I'm not that worried. In the meantime, I think that's all the item management I have to do. Wait, I forgot. I still haven't done the Forge of the chapter yet, as I definitely want to do that after getting all that money. I think in this case, well, first off, Boyd, that back in the convoy. And I think I'll put on the short axe for the time being. It's a Hark. I think I might sell the Lagoon Slayer. I actually want the Armor Slayer for this chapter. I just remember that this map is actually filled with a lot of armored units. Let's see. I can throw the Lagoon's Bow back in the convoy for the time being. Killer Bow. Yes. I wish I had more uses, but dang, it's really useful. Let's see, Nephany, what's your lance rank at? Let's see, hey? Interesting. I think Rom, I think you might do better with, the short spear's a bit better for you, so I'm gonna just shove the javelin back in there. And I think, yeah, I think I'll keep the steel lance on you at this point. Nephany, you're the more accurate of the two. The Goose Lance, you'll take the Killer Lance. As critical hits are nice, and you're also doing slightly better in skill. That's for sure. Braum, you're doing okay. I think it might just be better to keep Shine equipped to Reese. Just because it's usually more important to have staves available. And I have a feeling that this might be the first time I want to have a physics staff. Even though Reese has generally been able to keep up with everybody so far. But I have a feeling this next chapter is going to have a lot of promotions. And I mean like a lot. Oh, right, I actually did just think of something. Take this heal and take this fire. The only other person I'm worried about running out of things... I'll bring the hammer in... No, I shouldn't bring the hammer. Items... Oh, right, I forgot. Not on you, but I'll put it on somebody else. Also, that reminds me, give the Bjork Guard. as I don't need that anymore for the time being. No reason for you to have it at the moment. In fact, it might be better to sell it at this point, but not quite sure yet. In this case, what I am looking for, not the Laguz Lance, might actually just be the hammer, but we'll see. I think for the time being, yeah, I'll let it be I'll leave it at that. Since I know Leth transforms on the first turn, there's no reason to keep her equipped with a demi-band. Like, I'll probably leave it off for the time being, and then once I notice that she's low on gauge, I'll probably equip it to her for the rest of the chapter. Which is one of the more useful things to note. In the meantime, we got boots in the last chapter. This increases the movement speed of 1 unit. I'm debating on whether or not to give it to Leth or Braum. And considering what I think I need it for, I think I'm going to have Leth use the boots ultimately, just because of something I need in the next chapter. And I'll leave it at that. Braum I'm not too terribly worried about. I have shove.unit in the form of Mordecai for the moment. And can anybody else shove you beyond the characters I already have? I guess the most likely would be Boyd, but even then, yeah, he's not heavy enough. Oh well. Save, and then let's go see what's happening. And we're gonna find something to atone for, I think. Meanwhile, it's heavily guarded. So, direct attack. Meanwhile, Ike of the Grail Mercenaries, under the orders from the Apostle, we've been charged with investigating the Duke. And wait there a moment. Meanwhile, they're going to sneak around and see what they can find. And yeah, Titania, I believe, can actually get them out of a sticky situation if they get caught. In the meantime, Oliver himself actually came to greet them. That's interesting. Yep. Well, it's genuine. Very well. We are here by the Apostles' leave. Do you honestly intend to make us discuss this private matter outside? Come, never. I would never insult. Please, come inside. Seems like he's nervous and like he's definitely hiding something. Slavery? Me? The Apostle would honestly accuse such an unfashionable thing as slaveholding? Ooh. So he claims no knowledge of such a thing. But it seems like he's not being 100% honest. But we haven't seen the entire mansion now, have we? After all, you're full of crap, based on what we saw earlier. We have little choice, do we? However, that halt says something else. And on the top floor of the building, and it was a bird try, Blaze forced back into the room. Can someone from the bird tribe, can you describe him? He had long hair, like sparkling gold, and his skin was so pale. Almost translucent, eh? Pure white wings. Well, that can only mean that there's a member of the Heron clan in this place. Only royal Herons possess white wings. Uh-oh. And seems Duke Tanis wasn't being completely honest. But, instead, going to try and kill everybody. Mercenaries, time to move out. That's for sure. As the Duke is going to run away. That's for sure. Meanwhile, Devdan. Sounds of battle. And Kimarsi. Pay for the impudence of disturbing his home. Unfortunately, I have a very full team. In the meantime, Tormod, come with me. Speaking of which, Devdan. There's a couple of people that can talk to Devdan. Basically, if they are a child of any kind, they can talk to Devdan, as Mist, Soren, and Soth all can do this. Soren in particular is the one exception, but he looks like a child enough that that Devdan sees him as a child. But I'm gonna do some repositioning real quick. Braum, you're leading this vanguard. I don't like going in with only one thief, but nobody else here is quite well enough equipped and set up that I could really get away with it. And Rolf, I want you. I need a Hark up front, that's the problem. Rolf is just gonna have to sit back here, unfortunately, for the time being. But yeah. It's not like I have to worry too much, as these guys are the only guys in range at the moment. You have thunder, you have fire, that's good to know. In the meantime, Devdan. He is recruitable. He's also the reason I've been saving the Speedwing. I'll cover that and more in the next part, though. Until then, I'll see you then. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons, as well as hit the notification bell to stay up to date. The next part is in the description, or it should be on screen right now. I'll see you for the battle in the next part.